So you've got your officers over there. Very quiet night out here so far. I actually got off my bus a little while ago. Um, I left via Rome for about 4 days over the holidays. Did come out here Christmas Eve on my way out of this area. Took a bus, checked the fire lanes, and there's no one in the fire lane tonight, which is something I'm happy with again. Um, I do this to make positive change. And while some people may go, oh, they're just parked in a fire lane, no big deal, I'm like, it is a big deal. And when I say that, um, if I'm just here to complain about it and not follow steps and try to get those actions corrected, then people that say, oh, you're just doing this for YouTube hits are correct. And as you see back over there, your officer, he's turned to watch me. He knows I'm filming. The guard is with him. Earlier, SA 210 Cop Watch had posted them sitting down over there. And I was like, well, I'm going to be down in that area shortly. So what I'm going to do is go over and read the public announcements on the 123 North Medina building. See when the next board meeting is. I know a lot of people give me grief because I'm not one of those guys who has fancy equipment. I don't own a gimbal. Sometimes when I take my body camera out, I do attach it to my walking stick, so when I'm walking, there's a lot of movement on it. Okay, these are still the same signs up from the 14th of December, so no new signs up. So that's VIA's just customer health and safety rules, basically saying, they're going to enforce these, and if you do have COVID, you can't buy at their facilities, et cetera, et cetera. Their policy is, pretty straightforward either way. Like I said, I came over to see if they were going to post anything else, and now you have both your guard and your officer who've come over to watch to see what I'm doing. I find it funny because that's exactly, they walked over here to observe what I'm doing. They don't like me filming them, but then they choose to make themselves part of my story. So it doesn't really matter what I'm doing. What I'm doing is legal, it's legitimate, and I'll go explain that to them just in case they have any questions. Make it very clear. How you doing, officers? Notice you were watching to see what I was doing over by the building. just letting you know what I was doing. You guys make public announcements over there. I go over there on a regular basis and film the public announcements, like your board meetings, other things like that. You know who I am. I know you have other issues with other people coming out here clowning you or whatever, but that's not what I do. Of course, if you guys act inappropriately, I'm going to document it. But anyway, that's what I did. You don't have any new board meetings coming up, but you see me go up to that building after hours. That's what I'm doing, is filming the same area. And again, I know your officers have told many people in the past that that's private property. The issue with that, again, is as long as you guys put up public notices, then those notices are open to the public 24/7. So they can walk right up that sidewalk and read it at any time. Private property or not, it is open to the public, and by choosing to post those signs there, you are granting the public the right to go look at it 24/7. If they don't want to post them there, if they want to post them in another location, that's fine, but that's via choice. And I mean, I've covered that with them. They're like, no, you can go read them anytime you want. I'm like, yeah, I know, but some security guards get upset about it. Me, I'd rather just be up front and let you know in advance to stop that from becoming a problem. Other people, they may push your button and make you react or overreact to what they're doing. But again, they can walk up there and look at those public announcements. So you guys have a good evening. Be safe. I'll probably see you tomorrow or the next day. Maybe not. Either way, if you noticed, haven't had any vehicles in the fire lane in the last couple of days. I don't know, may have been one there yesterday, but I will be following up on those vehicles in the fire lane. So if you see someone parked there, you may want to just let them know, hey, that guy's not going to quit doing it. He's going to keep notifying you guys. Every time you violate the law, he's going to document it and he's going to post it. Okay, you guys have a good evening. So, as you see, they chose not to make any comments other than, polite goodbye at the end. I have no problem with that. But again, as documented, they chose to come over and observe what I was doing. And, they're entitled to do that. They didn't approach me. They didn't ask what I was doing. But, I'm a straightforward guy. I'm like, hey, if you're going to come over and see what I'm doing up by the building, I might as well tell you straight out what I'm doing. I don't have any negative or ill intents towards via employees, via transit, police, or guards. What I have is a overwhelming commitment that when public servants do something that they should not do, that they're notified of it, and then if they continue to do it, that I continue to expose it. Again, that is a deep belief of mine, and some people say, oh, well, you're just harassing them. And I'm like, hey, as long as you're doing what you should not be doing, I'm going to come out and document it. Over about 4 or 5 months' time, never had issues down here with VIA. I haven't. I've witnessed other issues. But again, a lot of that does have to do with the way that I approach things. And like I said, just right there, going up and letting those officers know. You notice I didn't point my camera directly at them. I don't feel I need to unless they're behaving inappropriately. The camera's here to document facts. I know a lot of people are like, oh, keep the camera on the officer. And I'm like, look, these guys aren't going to do anything inappropriate. If they do get inappropriate, they get the camera time. Officer Esquivel back there, their whole department has been given very specific instructions, and specifically with me, with my name on it, that they need to leave me alone, let me do what I do, not interfere with me. And, in honesty, since I pushed that back on them, I'm not getting any grief like I was for a few weeks there. It's sad that I have to take those steps to go out of my way to make sure they know that it's not acceptable. And again, we understand why. We in the auditing community know that when other auditors create a story or cause officers to overreact. And again, they don't make the officers overreact. Nobody makes an officer overreact. But this is how the officers feel, and then they target other auditors because of it. You know what? You can't make an officer do something they shouldn't do. So, I'll joke about it all day long. I won't drink cherry Coke on via property. I'll drink cherry vanilla Coke, but cherry Coke may get you a beat down. And, those officers go, well, he was acting intoxicated. And, he put that in a paper bag for a reason. And I'm like, so, in your opinion, it's justified that you grabbed the dude and then kept him restrained even after knowing it was cherry Coke. You didn't have the human decency to say, damn, we've been played, and let it go. Instead, you kept the guy detained there and tried to make up more BS excuses, including telling people this is private property, the sidewalk's private property, the street's private property. And when I go, hey, none of that crap's true, I'll make sure I come down here and tell every single officer. Because once one officer hears something, they go, well, I heard this officer say it must be true. And that simply isn't the case. The same with these guys saying, it's our policy to give you a card and make sure you go and get written permission or permission from Rachel Benavides to film on our property. And I'm like, absolutely no, it's not your policy. That's not VIA's policy. That policy came from some police supervisor who said, just give them this card and tell them they have to do it to, hopefully they'll just go away. And by giving that policy to their officers, they imply that it is a requirement for you to do that when it's not. They are taking away your rights when they hand you a card and say you need to do this to continue doing what you're doing, which they have no authority to control. So either way, that was my live stream. I typically go off and circle the block again. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut off my live stream now because there is some stuff going on right up the street that I'm going to investigate that doesn't need to be on live. I may go live stream again if something has a need for it, but the area down here has a lot of homeless people, and I cannot edit live stream as easily as other people can. I'm not even sure how they go about it. Either way, for me, it's just better to not live stream those. And then if I do get certain people in my video, I can always edit it before publishing. Either way, folks, be safe, enjoy your night, and remember, always film the police. Respect with police officers is a mutual thing. If they're respectful to you, by all means, please be respectful back. When officers respectfully violate your rights, is it not inappropriate for you to respectfully ask them, can you sodomize their mother? I mean, you respectfully asked it. See, they won't like that. But again, when I say respect is a two-way street, if an officer doesn't know he's violating your rights, and there's a slim chance he doesn't know it, that's one thing. But if you tell them, hey, no, and then they go to another level, give them both barrels of the dirty, foul language, whatever. Because the truth is that the officers that have told me in the past that they respect what I do and that I'm always polite, etc., are the same ones like Officer Torres with Via Metropolitan Transit Authority Police, who intentionally blinded my camera, who intentionally told me she was not going to do anything at all about a Via person parking in a fire zone. Now, the public media recently did a story about how many tickets Via gives to the citizens off of Metropolitan Transit Authority property, because remember, they're peace officers. And I find that just funny as all hell. They'll give you a ticket anywhere in town if they can, but they won't give their own vehicles tickets. So again, officers who say that they respect you and they're polite. Look at their actions, look at their words, see if they are sincere. Because, like I said, Officer Torres sitting there telling me one thing, oh, I don't have a problem with you, you're one of the good auditors. And then blinding me and then going, oh, I didn't know it was you. Basically, she's saying, oh, I thought you were a different auditor and it's okay for me to harass that auditor. And it's not okay. It's not professional. Wouldn't matter who I am. Her saying, well, the city will just dismiss the ticket anyway. I don't have to give them a ticket. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to. But you also don't have to go grabbing people as part of an investigation when you should actually have spoke to that person. Instead, you grabbed him, handcuffed him, threw him on the ground. Didn't do a good job of searching him because I, like many other auditors, we go into areas of town that are often filled with other crimes. And most auditors aren't calling the police. We're not doing it. We simply are not going to call the police. We don't carry a cop in our back pocket, but most of us will be armed. I find it crazy. They handcuff the dude and throw him on the ground, and they don't even realize at the time that he's armed. That's just stupidity to me. Incredible stupidity. Either way, the Via Trans down here, like I said, have been polite with me tonight. When I say polite, they just weren't aggressive, would be a better way of phrasing that. I explained to them that I do go and check on the public memos every week, and I'll be back tomorrow or the next day. And that concludes my live feed. You guys out there, I'm not sure who you are, but I appreciate you joining. Be safe and always film the police.